Hello there UK users, today we're reviewing this, which is the Pie in the Sky, or the P.I.T.S by Spyderco, designed by Mike Reed. This is the commercial, mass-produced one, although Mike Reed also makes his own customs that have thumb studs instead of the Spidey hole. His are, I believe, also much more expensive, you know, Spyderco bringing it to the masses as it is. This was designed, of course, by Mike Reed, who was an English guy in the countryside, I believe, with a knife. He had an incident with police or emergency services of some sort, and from then on he decided he didn't feel comfortable with a locking blade or such, but he also wanted a knife that he could feel he could depend on. So he designed this one, which is a very nice lock-up, very strong, reliable, but also is completely UK legal, or so I've read anyway. You're welcome to verify that yourself. It's a bit of a difficult one, this one, because it's not actually commercially available very easily anymore. You can still find them on some websites, but their prices are definitely overinflated. I've seen it for about £400 on a couple of websites, which not for me, not at 400. But I mean, you could probably get an actual Mike Reed for that, possibly. But that's a lot to spend on a mass-produced. However, I got this second hand for £180. You can still find them around, even in this UK market, which is, you know, the second hand market is nearly non-existent over here, but it is around. So it's a little bit difficult to get. I've re-anodized it because this anode comes off very easily. I had to import some bloody Winks rust remover just to etch it, but you can see just the slightest touch there and it will easily, hey, there you go, you can see it easily comes off, that anode again. So, box and warranty is a standard Spyderco classic box. Oh, I also had to change out some screws. One of these 4 screws here was stripped, and the originals look very slightly different. So you can see this is the original, that's a new one. They don't look as good, but I'd rather they all look the same than some of them look original and some of them don't. But yeah, one of these is completely stripped, unfortunately, so I had to replace those. Such is the nature of second-hand purchases. Warranty, I think we pretty much know Spyderco's warranty by now. There we go. No abuse. All products for free. So I avoided my warranty by replacing those screws. But you know, and you know, the warranty would probably be void by the stripped screw anyway. So no big loss there. I don't really care about warranties over here anyway. They're screw sending that back to America. So the action on this is actually really nice, like very nice. It's incredibly easy to open, like really absolutely grippable. I was worried, I've seen in a few reviews people saying the Spidey hole was a bit difficult to get to, like they wanted like a ramp, such as on this hinder here where you've got a small thumb ramp going down to help you get to that better. But you just, I mean, for my hand size it's going to be different for everyone, but for me, don't need it. It's sublime. It sounds absolutely lovely. You've got that really nice solid click as the top spring bar there snaps in, and then you've also got a really nice satisfying little chink when you close it. It doesn't have any kind of a half stop, it's just one smooth close, one smooth open. But as I said before, when you've got like this has a finger guard instead. When you've got a finger guard, I really don't see the need for a half stop, because before it gets to that half stop, you're already being bitten on by that finger guard. So this is, even though it's just titanium, scale, sorry, it's actually, even with greasy hands, with wet hands, sweaty hands, anything, surprisingly grippable. I haven't had any issues opening this, and I think that's owed to Spyderco's Spidey hole, where you can really just put your thumb straight through it, like you can really get your stuff in there, and then just grab on that clip there, and then I've never had an issue where I've slipped off opening this. I have with a couple of others. So that's absolutely wonderful. Spring strength on this, this is perfect for me. This is exactly the strength I want. It's by itself, yeah, fairly strong. I mean, again, nothing crazy. Stronger than a UK PK. Certainly stronger than Hindra. Obviously, definitely not like a Manly Wasp, but nothing's as strong as a Manly Wasp. But it's still absolutely one-hand friendly. You know, it's nothing over the top. It's very easy movement. Wonderful. Another thing is if you want that spring to be firmer, go for it, because your thumb rests right on top of that, and as long as you keep your thumb pressing the top of the spring down, it's really quite hard to break that lock up. And your thumb rests there anyway, because you've got a little thumb ramp here, so when you grip, you put your thumb there, your thumb's already over that spring guard, so I can just about do it there. So it's as strong as you, essentially, the back spring on this, and I love that. It sort of fits everyone's needs. It's light enough to please someone like me, who's really a bit of a floppy spring enthusiast, but to those who like a harder spring, it's as hard as you can make it, essentially. Washers in this are phosphor bronze, as expected. The hardware is all T8, which is bloody fantastic, and several of these are captive. So this is captive, and the pivot is, although it looks like it's not captive, is actually a captive barrel in the middle, which both of these screw into. Only captive one side, but it doesn't matter, it's captive. So you don't need to faff around with them. What I will say though is neither of these two stop pin barrels at the top are captive, so those can be a bit of a pain to get out, but that's it. Everything else is captive. And this all T8, which is wonderful, even the replacement ones I've got, but the originals are T8 as well. It's titanium scales with a light sandblast finish, I believe, which feels, yeah, there's a texture there. It's not, obviously not completely smooth, but it feels, I don't know, I guess sort of velvety, bit weird, sort of almost like this, but even finer, if you've ever felt a 940, because this is another weird finish, although this is aluminium, or aluminum if you're American. Obviously they're just solid titanium liners. Scales, there's no liners in this, and it does have the little lanyard hole and the big lanyard hole. You know, that's all encased by this G10 backspacer. I think that's G10 anyway. But yeah, you've got a place to put a lanyard if you so desire. The pocket clip is reversible for lefties, which is again big plus for me. Love seeing that. Why not on a slip joint? You don't have a lock to contend with. It's tip up only, which is my preferred. So again, winner there. And it's a deep carry pocket clip. A lot of people really love these pocket clips, so more power to you. They put them on everything. There's a UK PK they throw them on. They've got them on the lightweights, the Urbans, I think. But that clip is all over the place, and it's because it works. I'm not a big fan, just because it's a deep carry clip that's reflective silver. It's not matte or darkened or satin, it's just shiny silver. So it sort of negates the point of a deep carry clip to me, but there you go. This is what it'll look like in your pocket. So barely anything, just a little line there and your clip. which is fair enough, I guess. Very well hidden, very inconspicuous. The other thing that's good about these pocket clips is because you've got that little groove there, you've obviously got a nice ramp, nice springiness, and they melt into your hand. This is a supremely comfortable pocket clip. I've only had one really uncomfortable pocket clip, but this is definitely one of the most comfortable pocket clips I've had. You can barely tell it's there, and yet it still works perfectly for opening the knife, just clamping down on there and going on that, which is fantastic. There's no jimping to speak of on this at all, and the fit and finish on this overall is pretty goddamn fantastic. I mean, this was well designed from the ground up, and there's not many parts to it. It's a really, really nice, simple, wonderful knife. So the blade material is N690CO, which personally I'm an absolute fan of. I've never had a problem with N690. I don't even know how good it's supposed to be. I think it's probably one of the lower end steels. HCR13 for me, using that at work, I have had to resharpen that at work, and that irks me. I don't want to be resharpening on the floor. I'd rather be just using it for God's sake and getting it away as quick as I can again, because I don't want, people that are a bit afraid to see it. But this one you can leave for days, and it takes a razor edge, very easy to sharpen. If there's one lower end steel that I like, this is golden. Love N690CO. The billboarding on this it's all the information you could want, but it doesn't take up much real estate. So you've got your Spyderco logo, their name in case you didn't know what that logo meant, the blade steel, Mike Reed, designer, and where it was made in Italy. So yeah, grind on this is if you've had one of these, it's basically the same. Obviously it's a different shape. This is the leaf. This is whatever that is. Drop point? I don't know. I'm terrible with that stuff. But it's, pretty similar. Straight. I don't think it's convex or concave. It's just a flat. And it's, oof. Let me tell you, it slices like an absolute dream. Beautiful thing to use. You do have that finger guard, but not finger choil as such, and you certainly don't have a sharpening choil, which is... I thought it would be more of an issue than it was. Probably just me being a snob or what other people have told me I need. But yeah, this one is phenomenal. Haven't had any problems, but it doesn't have a choil either way. Centering on this is very slightly off, but as always, it's good enough. Actually, that looks bang on to me. There's maybe a tiny bit left. And there's maybe a smidgen of blade play, but again, I've taken this apart, put it back together. So your mileage may vary. It's well within tolerances for me though. I'm perfectly happy, and you can always tighten these up if you're not happy with it. So I'm just going to put the stats for this up on screen, like size, thickness, weight, all that stuff, because I'm sure it's hella boring to watch me stack this on a scale and all that lot. And then I'm just going to put this up against some of its brothers. You got the UK PK there, you got the Manly Wasp right there, and you've got a Hindra XM Slippy right there. For the Americans out there, you've got yourself the Rat 1, the Recon 1, tell you what, didn't think I was going to have to do it, but they're big enough that I'm going to have to do it. So yeah, Recon 1, there, it's a big boy. And you've got your 940 there, which is actually very comparable. Obviously the 940 has a bigger blade because, you know, why wouldn't you? But there you go. Now, problems with this, there's two and they're pathetic. They're such small niggles, I'm going to mention them because why not, I've come across them. Okay, problem number one is you always, after every time you use this, for some reason get a little bit of grime on this, well maybe not on that side, but on this side here, like I always find grime on there and you just have to, don't know what that is, but it's just maybe pocket lint, something like that. But it always collects there and up in the Spidey hole there. The other thing is that ever so often, do you know what, there's three things. The second thing is that sometimes that spring there, that gap, will just catch a bit of your skin and give you a little nick. It's not that bad, and it's honestly, like, it's only if you're really like pressing against it there and then you let it close on your finger, but it doesn't hurt a lot at all really, it's just a little ooh. And the last thing is, as I said at the beginning, you can see I've already scratched the re-anodized job I did, because when I got this it was a little bit battered, you know, there's a fair bit of anode coming off. I mean, it's already starting to get snail trails on it again, so I'll re-anode this when I get bored of how it looks, but you know, you can already see some snail trails coming up like there. But the big one, even if you're Mr. Careful with this knife, see these two here? That's because this pocket clip goes like that. And it has to go like that because when you open the knife, you pull that way on that to open the blade there. And then that results in scratches there. Which is very annoying because if they had a pocket clip like, I guess like Benchmade's there, although it's not deep carry, it is stronger, but that is so comfortable. So I guess the benefits of that pocket clip sort of outweigh the cons. But that's it. I'm blown away by this. It's an absolute darling, this knife. It's super slicey, as all the Spyderco sort of flat grinds are. It's super easy to sharpen. The blade does take a few nicks. It's got just like a standard satin finish. Don't know if you can see on the end there you go. Just there. Take a little nick, but nothing major. That's about it. Oh, there's a couple there from where I've been sharpening. I'm shit. But yeah. There's not much else to say about this. It's a stunner. It just does everything well. It got really good grip, really strong back spring, but not strong enough to put someone like me off. It's just cuts like a dream. You know, Spyderco's grind is fantastic. That's just about it. There's really nothing much else to say. The only bad thing is how hard it is to get a hold of now. Hopefully Spyderco do like a update for 2019, 2020, something like that. If not, you can always find wherever Mike Reed sells these and get one of his versions, because he obviously sells the Thumb Study one. Although I can't speak for how good that is. Probably better. It's got to be better, isn't it? But yeah, that's it. It's phenomenal. As a UK EDC, it's much better than it's any right to be. So if you got the chance to buy this, 100% pull that trigger.